They were fantastic. It was amazing to play those venues. Um, it was really special, and I think something we'll always remember. It's another step up in the band's history. There's always points where you feel there's something has moved up a gear. We felt that with in Absentia. Definitely, there was a feeling that something had changed, and something we're playing to a lot more people. And you get these little step ups every so often in your career, and that was one for Porcupine Tree. It was finally being seen in an environment that we felt comfortable with. Our production has always been a little bit better than the venues we played in. We've always aspired to something bigger, and I think that was incredible, especially the Radio City one, because it's an enormous stage. I think it's the biggest indoor theatre stage in the world. And of course we could do all these nice reveals because of the depth of the stage. So we'd start off with an acoustic set in front of a black curtain, which was quite interesting because people really didn't know what they were going to see. They thought, what's going on? Then of course that came back and you've got all the gear, and you would then do a normal set. Then another curtain would come back, and the whole of the stage would be filled with the biggest LED screen.
Yeah, I think it's about 100 foot wide.
So we were enveloped in this movie that was going on behind. It wasn't a case of a screen here and a screen there. It was just one giant movie. And so the whole show was kind of developing as it went along. And it was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I really enjoyed Radio City Musical. And especially to be in downtown Manhattan. I mean, we live in London, so being downtown London isn't quite as exciting. I played Royal Albert Hall 18 years ago with another band, and it's a fantastic venue. I think the audience felt sort of slightly intimidated by the venue because it's so plush. They didn't know if they could sort of stand up and go berserk, or if they were going to be asked to sit down and please behave nicely, sir. The American audience went absolutely crazy in Radio City. It was incredible. I preferred that one of the two. Although it's nice to play Royal Albert Hall because you actually get back in your own bed that night.
Well, we recorded the performance at the Albert Hall. Then we found out about the problems of actually, releasing these, and kind of the fact that the Albert Hall wants, substantial monies for either using their name or using footage, live footage, or audio. It wasn't the greatest performance for us, although the event itself was amazing, and I remember really enjoying it. But there were some technical issues going on. But we came out with a lot of good material, and we decided to we could have put more onto this album, but it's there. But we decided to put what we felt were the strongest performances, and reached a kind of agreement with the Royal Albert Hall based on using those few performances, which made it feasible for us to do that. Also, it's all part of the Incident tour. This isn't just about the Incident album, it's about the tour we were doing, kind of material we were playing at the time. It took him, a good couple of years, didn't it, of our touring life. So it was nice to document as much as we could, and going back onto those old tracks was interesting. Probably stuff you've never played before. And
yeah. Plus, they were the two most spectacular venues, the Royal Albert Hall and Radio City Musical, and that's pretty much reflected in the photographs in the CD booklet, because they were just such spectacular venues. It would have been lovely to video and record both of them. It might have been a bit crippling financially to do that. The second disc of this double CD, I think, is already over 70 minutes. There wasn't much space to put any other songs on there.
Yeah.
I think we put Bonnie the Cat on there, and Hate Song.
Stars Die.
Stars Die. Hate Song was one of those songs that developed into an improvisation in the end, and we actually had a really good.
I think it's one of the best we've ever done.
Yeah, every night. I mean, with improvisational stuff, every night is whatever it is. It's a mixed bag. It could be brilliant. It could be average. And we had a really good one that night. So we thought, well, not a lot of our songs have got improvisational moments in them, and so it would turn out to be a good song to put on the record. The other songs, are things that haven't been on DVD before. Things like Dislocated Day, the entire Even Less piece, which I don't think I'd played the whole thing before.
No, I can't remember the last time I did. That's one of my favourite pieces actually on the B-side.
So that's kind of how we chose the set list, for the second disc. Obviously the first disc being the entire incident, but the second disc, it was about choosing tracks that we thought, hadn't been out before or hadn't been released recently or had got some sort of historical value to them in terms of being heard.
Well, I guess lack of quality sleep, illness.
Yeah. I mean, usually when you're touring on a bus and there's maybe 11 guys on the bus, someone gets a cold, you all get a cold. It's a bit like being on a submarine, It's a bit like being on a submarine and being on Big Brother, because you're with the same people all day long and all night long.
You can't vote anyone out.
Yeah, we've tried, but it didn't work.
We do virtual voting out. but
yeah, I'd have been gone long ago. Lack of sleep actually is probably the worst one, because sleeping on a moving bus, if you've never tried it, is quite a scary thing, and it's quite claustrophobic. But there isn't really much other way to do it. We've actually done it in like going around in a van, sharing rooms at motels, and actually that's worse because you end up driving after the show, getting to a motel at 4 a.m, and then getting up at 8 o'clock in the morning to drive another sort of 6 hours to the next town. Especially in the States, where the distances between the major towns are so huge, the only kind of financially viable way to do it is to sleep on the bus overnight as it's moving.
Well, sometimes it is nice to be able to get away and just, apart from playing concerts every night, there's plenty of time to think, there's plenty of time to read, watch films. It can be relaxing. I know the sleeping's an issue, but you kind of get into a routine, and it's a lot more comfortable than it used to be. I mean, it can be horrendous, obviously. We don't get to see much of the places we go to, do we? You can get lucky on a day off and being in a great place, but most of the time you are in this terrible car park, trying to find a hotel room and
Where was that particular car park?
Was it Paderborn? Does that make sense?
It was Paderborn or Stuttgart.
Right.
And we were so in need of a hotel room, and there was a conference in town, business thing going on, and everywhere was booked up, and we just started to think, how much are we going to be prepared to pay to find a room? And it was going up and up, and in the end we were going to do anything to find a hotel, and we could not find one. And there's a great picture of Gavin in the car park with his face up against a barbed wire fence in black and white suitably, and just that kind of summed it up, the actual depression.
I will give it back to you.